Hi everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. How are you? How has your long weekend, your Easter holiday, your Easter been? We've had a lovely break. We are almost back to normal. You can see my progress having suffered COVID a couple of weeks ago, 13 days, something like that ago. You can see how it played out for me, and I've been very lucky that I've been able to bounce back. However, what I found, a little tip and trick for those that may have COVID-19, don't try and run before you can walk. Take it very, very slowly because I found if you try and do too much too quickly, you just get sat back down on your behind. So take it slowly, rest up, plenty of hydration. I found were really good ways to move through COVID-19. Okay, so there are a few things I want to do today. First of all, straight up a reading. And then if I've got the energy, I will look at what is going on in the collective at this time. I think it's important we do that. I'll do that in a separate reading. Today I want to look at Ukraine and Russia, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the fight for sovereignty and democracy in Ukraine, such starkly different governments in Ukraine as opposed to the dictatorship of Vladimir Putin, and those that he allies with are generally totalitarian dictatorship type of fake democracies. Okay, so we'll look at the battle for the Donbas, eastern region of Ukraine. Has begun. I'm not going to go through the advantages I think Ukraine has over Russia. I'm just going to throw straight cards. Then I want to look at Putin's threat that if the allied Western, well, it's not the West, if Europe and the US continue to give Ukraine arms, then there would be some kind of retribution for that. Is he all bluff? He knows very well that if he launches a nuclear strike, then that would be enough to mobilize the EU and the US. So we'll look at that threat. I do also want to ask the question: are countries like the US and in France we have the French election coming up? Marine Le Pen, the far-right candidate, very closely allied with Putin. In fact, Putin partially funded her 2016 presidential campaign. There's also been breaking stories about her management of funds when she was in the EU Parliament. And so for me, she is very, very much like a Trumpian candidate. Are the French going to be so... I don't know. In my mind, so I don't want to offend any French people. Okay, so let's just say, are they going to go with this far-right candidate? I've said that the far-left candidate, Jean-Luc Mélenchon, his votes will be important, even though it's only estimated 38 to 41% will cast a vote for Macron. I think that's going to be enough to get Macron over the line, so I'll stick with that prediction. Okay, which will be a huge relief. I hope I'm right. But first, let's go to the Donbas. We'll also look at, I worry so much about the US, we'll look at what's occurring there. Maybe take some of those key states that are moving in authoritarian directions and see if a democratic governor can be elected to stop that march. All right, let's get going. The battle for Donbas. Putin wants a victory in Ukraine. He wants it wrapped up by early May, second week in May, so that he can say he's had a victory. Is he going to get that in the East? Will Putin win the battle of Donbas? Of course, the longer this draws out, the weaker the Russian economy grows. The Russian factories grow that supply military parts. They can't do that in some cases such as tank manufacture. So the longer this goes on, the worse it is for Putin. Is he going to win the Battle of Donbas? Is Putin going to win the Battle of Donbas? So we've got the Fool card, indicating there could be new starts. It is the signifier card. It is a yes card. Let's see what's challenging it. The Empress. So this is abundance. Okay, so his ability to fund. It's also my card for Mother Russia. So straight away, the signifier cards show he's got a strong hand. I won't beat round the bush. But the Empress is also the harvest. Again, as I said in the preamble, the longer this goes on, the less his chances become. There is a lack of funding here that is preventing this Fool from moving forward. Let's see what is at the base of the pack. 9 of Wands, battle weary. Boundaries. He wants that boundary. He really wants to take Eastern Ukraine for himself. The seaports are very important for him. The 9 of Wands is suggesting that his army, his battalions are growing weary. They're not in there at their best. His ability to get supplies in, to get fresh reinforcements in, will be important. Let's keep going. You know, those overarching signifier cards can also be a new start for Russia. How's this going to end? It can't end in any other way than Putin removed from power. Could be a new start for Russia. 4 of Coins. Now, this is dominion and power in the Thoth deck. But here it indicates boundaries, hanging on tightly for something. It's in the past. It also indicates insecurity. Again, every time Putin wants a boost in the polls, he starts a war and he gets the boost. Can Russian people show us anything different? The Knight of Wands, movement, the potential here. So that's the potential in the sky. Now, I'm not a military strategist, but I would say if Ukraine can stop the movement of supplies, logistics, in the way that they did in Kiev, the Battle of Kiev, then that could influence things in their favour. Movement of the army is critical to a Putin victory. Now, the Page of Swords. You know, the page is not the queen, not the king. It indicates there could be spies in the camp. Some have suggested that those within the Kremlin are leaking like a sieve designed to undermine Putin. There's something about pigs might fly here as well. Immediate future suggests he will take a small victory, but it's not a large victory. Okay, the world in the here and now. Again, the world supplying Ukraine with more superior weaponry and armoury. Suggests also an ending and a beginning of something new. An ending and a new beginning, which is suggested in those initial cards. The Four of Wands talks about families, reunification, celebration. Something is ending here, I'm getting. Something is ending and people are celebrating. Let's see. Strength in the hopes and fears. Is the Russian army as strong as we think it is? The sinking of the Russian ship would suggest the flagship ship in their navy would suggest otherwise. There are stories about billions and billions of dollars being siphoned off by would-be oligarchs' defence budget that should have been going to the army. We're seeing the result of operating a kleptocracy, which is what is operated, which is the system in Russia. The fear also is this strength and this movement of troops. I see the movement of troops as being critical. But the outcome card is the Three of Swords. Now, this is a no. This is a no. However, it is also loss. It's heartbreak. It's what happens when people die in war. It's what's going to happen to those brave and courageous Ukrainians, to those Russian soldiers that don't want to be there. There's heartbreak for all. So I would suggest, let's see what the clarifier cup is. Families, completion. You know, for every soldier in Ukraine, it is a family member. They have a civilian army that is mobilized. So potentially he wins something. There's a gain there in some way, but in another way he loses a major battle, and there of course is a lot of heartbreak and loss there. Knight of Cups, what is that? What does he offer then? Okay, Seven of Swords. Whenever we're dealing with Putin, this is exactly his energy at this time. It is taking something that does not belong to him. It is taking something from others. It is lying. The Ace of Wands, the plan, the strategy, but it's not a strong strategy. It's not a strong strategy with that Page of Wands. So the way I'm going to come out is this is going to be a bloody battle, as we already know. The movement of Russian troops is critical to whether they will prevail in the Donbas. But I see the clear outcome card as no. It is a loss for Putin in the bigger battle for Donbas. Okay, all right, let's keep going. He threatened the EU, the Europeans, and the US with some sort of reprisal for supplying Ukraine with weaponry. Let's see what's going on there. Is he going to make good his threats? What does Putin have planned in that threat? What does Putin have planned in that threat for European and US allies supplying weaponry to Ukraine? What does Putin intend to do? The Star. Okay, so I think, you know, the glimmer of hope is that Putin is failing. The glimmer of hope is that his resources and economy are dwindling and that he can't wage war. That's the glimmer of hope. So don't lose hope. Okay, despite the loss, what does Putin plan for the European and the US supplying military to Ukraine? What is this threat? Is he only bluffing? Show me Putin's threat. What is it? I'll soon see if it's illusionary. Five of Cups. Well, there's loss here. Okay, so he's lost in so many ways, but he has 2 cups remaining. Maybe that's the threat. He is dwelling on his losses. The Ten of Wands is struggling. It is completion also, but these aren't good cards for Putin. I'm using the Golden Tarot, by the way. The Magician would talk of manipulation and manifestation as the foundation here. So he can never be underestimated. You saw the Seven of Swords there. 4 of Wands in the past. So the celebration of the sinking of the Russian flagship, naval flagship. The celebration over the win in Kiev. The withdrawal of Russian troops. That has really galvanized Putin. The Wheel of Fortune in the skies. So this is Jupiter energy. It's luck and it's expansion. So he may seek to expand his allied base, which is, I think, is what he's doing. And this threat of authoritarianism. Let's keep going. The Hierophant in the immediate future government. So I think he may seek to pass something through the fake Russian Duma, is it? Their parliament. It looks like he is going to try and pass something that's expansionary in nature. The Eight of Swords, restriction. And the Two of Coins, he has a decision to make. If this is around the sanctions, he is deciding what he will do, but he will somehow involve the Russian parliament. The hopes and fears is death and endings. You know, he may cut diplomatic ties with everyone. He might expel, if he hasn't already, diplomats. He may cease, completely shut down the Iron Curtain once again. But we've got death here. We fear that he may be planning some kind of nuclear strike. And I have to be honest and say that he wants death to what he considers his enemies. Okay, the Two of Wands, something that comes to fruition in time. What is that? The Lovers, Gemini. Okay, I think, what we're seeing here is that one way he will, strike back is to cede. People like Le Pen, like Trump, we've seen it in the past, those he considers loyal to him, to undermine democracies. And the Ace of Wands, he has a plan. Look for something that may come through the parliament. I don't see a nuclear strike here. Something that may come through the parliament, the Russian parliament, in a matter of 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. It could even be restricting something. Restricting what? He has the control, if he gets those seaports, Mariupol, has control of that Black Sea region. He's going to restrict movement, is what I feel. Restrict movement. He will choose who passes through there. Now, is that even possible? I'd have to look at my map, but it's going to be something like that, to restrict movement of something possibly through the Black Sea, and it goes somehow through this fake parliament he's got set up. Four of Coins and the High Priestess, never underestimate him, but also never underestimate what America might do too. Those sanctions are really starting to bite, particularly on the oligarchs. Okay, so that's where I come out on that one. Now, I want to look at... We'll go to... I have to ask about the French election. For my Australian viewers as well, I've actually downloaded and looked at the chart of Albanese, the opposition leader, the chart of Morrison, the current Prime Minister of Australia, and the May 21st election chart. Now, because I don't have birth times for either Albanese or Morrison, it's not going to be a predictive astrology reading. However, I can get a look at conditions. Now, if you remember my last reading on the Australian election, you will remember Albanese had very good foundational cards, in fact, suggesting a win. But when we got to the outcome card, we had Capricornian, the devil energy. Now, for those Australians who follow me, you will know how absolutely and discouragingly so, disappointingly so, the coverage, the media toxicity of the coverage of the campaign actually is here. We do not have, we have Murdoch owning most, has a monopoly on our media here. Cross-ownership laws were dissolved, and so Murdoch has television, newspaper, radio interests, and the only other major player is also a conservative player, again, who owns television and newspaper interests, our major mastheads, our major channels. And so, unfortunately, we are just getting so many gotcha moments for the opposition, less so, obviously, for the Conservative Prime Minister. And for me, looking upon it, is so toxic. And I think that's what that devil card indicated for the Australian election. It's so toxic. It's very hard to pick a winner at this time. However, I can say I've been throwing on it all weekend as an Australian, and I can say we're going to be surprised by the outcome. I do feel, looking at the astrology, and we'll do this reading later on in the week. That, let me just get my, stay tuned. I need to plug in my laptop to a power source. I do feel that independent women standing in this election are going to do really well. There is a possibility even of a hung parliament. So, karma might be a clearer energy to tap into than just simply focusing on the toxicity of the campaign. But more on that later. Now I want to go to quickly. I'm so on the edge of my seat with this election in France. It matters. It matters to us all. The King of Swords here. I'm not sure what Macron's star sign is, but that's also Putin's card as well. And the opposition candidate is allied with Putin and has been for a number of years. Okay, she wants closer relationships with Putin. All right, so the war criminal. Please, if you're French and you're watching this, vote. Vote for Macron, then work for what you want in the next 4 years. Do not vote for her, or do not vote. It's not compulsory in France to vote. Okay, let's see. Will Le Pen be defeated? Will Le Pen be defeated? Will Le Pen... I'm really feeling, I know we don't expect it, but I really feel that Jean-Luc Mélenchon's supporters, enough of them will vote for Macron. So she's going to have to defend herself against these latest allegations around possible misuse of funds, EU funds. She's defending herself. We've got the Knight of Wands movement here. Okay, so movement, defending herself about on something around movement, the Knight of Wands, movement forward. They feel she's regressive. Enough people will feel she's regressive. The Hierophant card, that is the government in the foundation of this reading, but it's also a higher source. It's also a card of great spiritualism. Again, these elections are so important. Five of Wands, partisanship. Really, this is the toxicity of politics. It's very hard to even stay engaged in politics these days. Two of Wands, okay, this could be also Putin's plan as well. Something that comes to fruition in time. So potentially something is coming to fruition. The question is, what is that? The King of Cups. So this is somebody that is a mature, emotional type leader, somebody that is seen as a father figure. Again, I go to Jean-Luc Mélenchon, the far left candidate. He has garnered young people who are looking for a progressive future. Three of Swords, heartbreak, loss and betrayal in the here and now. I don't think her campaign is going so well. People perceive her as a liar. Oh, this reading is for entertainment purposes only. They are afraid of this alliance with Putin as they watch what is occurring in Ukraine. Seven of Cups, illusion, delusion. In the hopes and fears, they feel that she may not have their best democratic interests at heart. It also signifies there's still not a clarity amongst voters yet. Six of Wands would be victory. So she has the victory card. The King clarified by the King of Coins. Now these readings are not simple. The Chariot, the King of Coins. Okay, so we have the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Cups appealing to the voter. The Hanged Man, something that stalls, and the Empress card. So I'm going to say that at this point in time, she may win. However, I want to look at Macron's star sign. So, Emmanuel, just Macron. I feel silly Googling Macron's star sign. But I think that King of Pentacles is, he's a Sagittarius. All right, I'm going to get a clarifier because it would be not a good outcome. Something coming to fruition in time. The King of Coins would suggest she's got some kind of oligarch connection. She's got funding. Lots of it too. Lots of it, perhaps from Russian oligarchs. We've got the Death card and we've got the Seven of Swords. Yeah, that's twice that's come up. Okay. All right, show me clearly, please. Le Pen. Is she going to win? Because she's got some kind of really strong monetary... Her campaign finances are strong. Or she's getting an injection of campaign finances. What's this Six of Wands here? Is this a win for Le Pen? Three of Rods, overseas foreign interests, and the Knight of Rods again. And we've got the Ace of Swords. So, I don't want to... I can be right, but I can also be wrong. On the face of it, these cards are good for her. I'm not going to gild that lily. She's also got some pretty strong loss cards, lying cards. And so the other point here is that something more could come out about who is financing her campaign. And at the base of the pack, we've got retreat, wounded in battle. Six of Cups, something in the past is coming back. The High Priestess, it's something that she didn't foresee. And the decision here is needing to be made about who is helping her and whether or not this type of energy is going to be in France's best interests, a betrayal and a lie. So I'm going to maybe pull on that again, but I wouldn't underestimate her at all. She has powerful monetary influences, business interests, big money interests, Putin's interests. All right, let's go back to that. Okay. If Macron gets over the line, which my previous readings have suggested, he does so through those younger people, enough of them, Jean-Luc Mélenchon's supporters voting for a centralist, just to keep Le Pen out. Okay, so, all right, so where do we go now? Let's take one state. Let's take Texas. In the governor's race, Beto O'Rourke, a long-term Democratic candidate, fighter in Texas, will go up against Greg Abbott, who, of course, has done some terrible things to hold back supply chains. Terrible legislative, regressive, restrictive, probably illegal, against the Constitution type moves. So let's see, Beto, can he do it this time? Let's give these a good shuffle. Can Beto O'Rourke do it this time? Can Beto O'Rourke win? Can Beto O'Rourke win the governorship of Texas? Can Beto O'Rourke turn it blue? Oh, the Eight of Cups. So we've got loss here as a signifier card. We have the Five of Swords, the rank partisanship. This is the toxicity that we see in politics at this time. It is terrible. It really is. The Magician, though, in the foundation. So manifesting something. What's Beto manifesting? Nine of Cups in the past. So we've got miracles. We've got wish fulfillment. I think a lot of Texans want to see him succeed. Now we have here the Chariot in the sky. This is moving forward at a breakneck pace. That's the potential for Beto. I don't know what the polls were saying, but to move forward in popularity very, very quickly. It's a strong, momentous momentum in his campaign. The immediate future is the Ace of Wands, his policies, his plans for the future. This is a new start. I like these cards. Okay, in the here and now, we've got Six of Wands. On every level, he is looking such a good alternative to someone like Abbott, the Queen of Wands. She came up before. So we've got women in Texas wanting a say, this is around the abortion laws as well. They're going to get out and campaign for him. They want him to be victorious. Hopes and fears, the state of our politics, let's not gild that lily. We do have to put barriers around what is going on now in terms of moves toward authoritarian governments. Six of Cups, going back to a better time, our higher selves as the outcome card. The Chariot and the past, when we were better than what we were. The Eight of Coins, the hard work, the skill, the campaigning. The Two of Cups. I'm going to show you these outcome cards. That is winning with enough voters. Base of the pack, the Hierophant card for government. The Two of Swords, Texas has a decision to make. We do have this money type of, culture wars. If they get in, everything will be turned to socialism. You won't be able to get ahead. Freedom, liberty will be gone. There is that continual narrative. We have the Four of Cups, though. A lot of people in Texas are so disappointed with their government. So the outcome, and I'll finish on this rather positive note before I go in and see what's happening with the collective. The Six of Cups, the past, the Eight of Coins, the Two of Cups, all really good cards, along with the potential card of the Chariot. So this gives me a lot more cause for positivity, optimism. Optimism is the word than my previous reading on Le Pen. Let's hope that Six of Wands and the King of Pentacles and the Chariot card show that this is information coming out which directly ties her to oligarchical funding. Let's hope my gut feeling that Mélenchon's voters will get Macron over the line. He was ahead in the runoff. My previous readings have showed that he just scrapes through, but we'll see. All right, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Bye for now.